Greetings, internet drinking buddies. My name is Link. The show's name is Tubbin and Chugging, and on this episode, I'll be imbibing Monday zero alcohol gin. Welcome back to the tub, everybody. Now, for this January of 2023 here, I've decided to try what the kids are calling the dry January. That means no alcohol for the entire month. Nothing really wrong with, I think, drinking alcohol in moderation, as I always recommend on this channel, but try it out. And hey, that lets us look into some content opportunities for zero alcohol gins, such as what we found here from Monday. So let's go ahead and take a closer look. Monday is a little alcohol-free beverage company founded down in San Diego, and they have three offerings. They have a gin, which we have here today. They have a mezcal, which is sort of like a tequila but not licensed, and they have a whiskey. So you can get each of these bottles, these handle-worth bottles, 750 milliliter, for $40, which is, a little pricey for a fifth overall. Obviously, there's no alcohol in it, so we can't do our normal price-to-drink comparison that we normally would. They do have a trio sampler that you can get it down to about $30 per bottle, so it's still a little bit pricey for what you're getting. But the idea here is that you should be able to get, gin that tastes like gin or whiskey or mezcal without the alcohol. So you can mix those into a cocktail. If you like sipping those straight, normally you can do that. So I'll give you the sort of price comparison on what it would be for like a typical ABV for this kind of thing. Then we'll go ahead and we'll see what we can get from it. I do think the biggest selling point of these is in their ability to make a cocktail taste like the same cocktail just without you getting the alcohol from it. So to get that juniper botanical taste from a gin without the alcohol burn, but something that simulates that sort of burn in your drink is difficult to accomplish. So I've had this before. I've had it this is my second bottle of this, so I have some experience with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour just a little bit of it on its own, see how it tastes just in that straight format. Then we're going to make a little Manhattan Mule, as we like to call it here, which is just a Moscow Mule but with gin instead of vodka, poured into our little copper mug to see how it simulates that sort of cocktail vibe. Let's go ahead and pour those, and I'll come right back. January. I think the biggest thing that I don't get from Monday gin that I would get from a normal gin is the burn. When I say burn, I don't mean like a harsh sort of taste in your throat, but a spice, if you will, to the beverage that really sort of lets you know what you're drinking to remind you of that fact, so you don't get too sort of in the weeds on the alcohol. This does a very good job of simulating the scent of the juniper quite well as this sort of overall, I guess, not spice, but flavor to it. It just doesn't really get that burn as much as I would like to it. But from like a presentation standpoint, pretty good. Appropriate for me. So again, where it lacks in the sort of drinking it straight, that missing that burn in particular, that nice little reminder. A good burn, a light burn, something like that to remind you again of the gin. A cocktail is meant to replace that burn, but accentuate the natural taste of the alcohol. So a rum-based drink, they don't have a 0% rum, but a rum-based drink would get you that sort of sugary taste of the alcohol without the burn, similar to like what you would get from a mezcal or the whiskeys that they do have. The gin here gets that botanical, not only the smell as we talked about before, but the taste that combines with the ginger and the lime to make that good classic cocktail, but without the alcohol. This is, I think, where it really does shine. Because obviously you weren't expecting a burn from the cocktail to begin with, so you don't get that, but you still get the flavor, you still get the smell, you still get everything about the presentation that mimics that taste just the way that you would want to be drinking it. So it's very fun in that regard. It is a little, again, pricey for what you're getting. There are some other alternatives out there. I don't know how well they compare, but it is a bit expensive. It's something to keep in mind. But if you're going for this sort of challenge, we just want to, not have any alcohol for a little bit, but you still like that taste of your classic gin cocktail, I think this is a very fun alternative that you can have. And with that, Let me know if there are other sort of, non-alcoholic cocktails or other just sort of replacements that you'd like to see me try out here in January while we're still doing this kind of content. And hey, as always, please drink responsibly.